Hello and welcome to the very first Pokemon Top 10 video on my channel. Today I decided we would start by doing the my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Feel free to leave a like if you agree with any of my choices. Obviously, if you disagree with any of my choices, which you probably will, seeing as this is an opinion-based list, there is a comment section. Feel free to leave your own opinions of what your top 10 favourite Pokemon is, and I will be sure to reply to your comments and tell you what I think of your top 10. I like most Pokemon, so I probably won't disagree with most of your top 10s. But anyway, without further ado, let's dive right in at number 10! Number 10. So, to start off this list with the number 10 spot, we have Goodra! Goodra is the pseudo-legendary Pokemon from Generation 6. He is a pure Dragon type, and he is the only pseudo not to be a dual type. Being a pseudo, he has a base stat total of 600, and I don't know, what else can I say about Goodra? Goodra, he doesn't have a Mega Evolution because he's Gen 6, so he has nothing special there. But I just love Goodra. His potential as a special offensive wall is amazing. I have him in-game. He is a bit of a pain to evolve, but then again, he's a pseudo. Most pseudo-legendary Pokemon are a pain in the butt to evolve. He needs to be leveled up, I think it's by level 53, possibly? But it has to be raining, but not like rain dance raining, but like natural weather raining. So you actually have to go to a route where there is rain, and then battle there and level him up. But it is definitely worth it. He is a very, very bulky Pokemon, and Hydration Rain Dance Goodra is very powerful. Give it Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Dragon Pulse on there, and you've got yourself a very good set. I run mine with Damp Rock. I'm sure there's other stuff you can run, Leftovers. I prefer to run that over Sap Sipper, because it gets Sap Sippers as well. But yeah, I prefer to run Hydration. So yeah, Goodra. And plus he's purple. I actually have a fun story about Goodra. X and Y, I have Y, so not X and Y, or just Y. I was training for the Fairy Gym, possibly? I think it was the Fairy Gym, by the swamp in X and Y. You'll know what I mean if you're a Pokemon fan. But I actually ran into a shiny Goomy and didn't realise until I clicked my move, and then one-shotted it with something, I don't remember what. So yeah, I could have had a shiny Goodra, but I didn't, so yeah. Anyway, so number 10, Goodra! Number 9. Coming in at the number 9 spot on this list, we have Mr. Big number 150 himself, Mewtwo. Mewtwo, well, everyone who is anyone likes Mewtwo. He's the Psychic type Pokemon, the one Psychic type Pokemon back in Gen 1 who was better than Alakazam. Was he better than Alakazam? I'm going to say he's better than Alakazam, because I don't like Alakazam as much as I like Mewtwo, so yeah. But yeah, Mewtwo, he's been around since the original generation. His appearances in the anime, in the first movie, were awesome. He was like the coolest Pokemon. I mean, he could talk. I mean, that was cool. None of the other Pokemon could properly talk. I mean, they could say their names and stuff, but then, meh, I can say my name too, so that's not really the most special thing in the world. But he could actually talk, and then, well, he's just Mewtwo. He's purple again. Purple's a good thing for Pokemon, seemingly, because they seem to. I like purple, so purple Pokemon for the win. But yeah, Mewtwo. He's a Psychic type Pokemon. He is one of the original 5 legendaries. And he is one of 2 Pokemon out of all 721 Pokemon to actually have 2 Mega Evolutions. greedy Mewtwo is greedy, but you know, preferably I prefer Mega Mewtwo Y over Mega Mewtwo X. Mega Mewtwo X has a naff design in comparison, and he makes him part fighting. And psychic fighting isn't bad or all, but psychic fighting. But Mega Mewtwo Y keeps its pure psychic, so that's always a plus. And then it also ups its special attack instead of its physical attack. The other one ups physical attack. But Mewtwo, when you say Mewtwo, you think special attacker, because I mean it's Mewtwo. He's the Pokemon who can talk with his psychic powers and can blow up buildings with his psychic powers, and yeah. So I don't know why you'd want to run a physical Mewtwo. I actually got a shiny Mewtwo, level 100, off of Wonder Trade in Omega Ruby, which was all different kinds of illegal, but it now has Psychic, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, and Ice Beam, I think, on it. So it's nice and legal now. I shoved Megastone Y on it and just take it to Uber free-for-alls and stuff. Nice and fun. Shiny Mewtwo. So yeah, shiny Mewtwo's green, by the way, which is another one of my other favourite colours, so yay for Mewtwo. So yeah, number 9 rather, Mewtwo. Mewtwo! Number 8. Coming in at the number 8 spot on this list, we have Gardevoir. Gardevoir is the Generation 3 Pokemon who evolves from Ralts. That one Pokemon that was like so hard to get. It was so hard to get Ralts in Gen 3. There was like barely any chance you find it. And then Wally comes along and finds one first try and catches it. So yay Wally. But anyway, Ralts. Ralts is a good Pokemon. It was pure Psychic until Gen 5, and then they made it part Fairy, because Fairy wasn't in it until Gen 6, so they couldn't have made it part Fairy beforehand, because that would have been all types of game breaking. But yeah, so when I played through Pokemon Soul Silver, I caught a Gardevoir. No, I didn't. I caught a Ralts and evolved it into a Gardevoir. My bad. You can't catch Gardevoirs. They're too high leveled. They're like stage 2. And we don't talk about Krilla, because Krilla is just like the stupidest middle evolution ever. But Gardevoir. Gardevoir was really good in my Soul Silver game. I got, because you can catch it on the route by the daycare center, on like a swarm thing after you beat the Pokemon League once. And then I was just like using it all the time, and I think I got up to level 70 before I eventually stopped playing that game and got Omega Ruby. And in Omega Ruby I have a level 100 Gardevoir, with Moonblast, Psychic, Energy Ball, and Shadow Ball, and that Pokemon is my Elite Four sweeper. Apart from Steven, I can sweep the entire of the Elite Four's teams, apart from Steven's, with just Gardevoir. It doesn't even need to be a Mega Gardevoir. I just slap Amulet Coin all over it, and then just get all the monies. Swampert is who I use, in case you wondered, for Steven's team, because you don't want to be taking no fairy moves with Gardevoir. But yeah, Gardevoir. Gardevoir. I like Gardevoir. I don't really have any stories about Gardevoir. No. Yeah, so number 8. Gardevoir. Woo, Gardevoir. Number 7. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have all kinds of rage and annoyance from Gen 5. We have the electric bug type Galvantula! Yeah, so Galvantula is like one of my favourite Pokemon. Well, obviously it's on this my top 10 favourite Pokemon list. But yeah, I caught Joltik in Omega Ruby on that route by Rustboro City, where you can also catch Eevee. And I trained it up, and I put it on my first ever team that I actually tried to use, and it turned out it was probably stronger than all of them combined. Well, not combined, that's a bit of an overstatement. I mean, I had Mega Sceptile on there. But yeah, Galvantula, he is so fast that it's just unbelievable. And the fact that he gets Compound Eyes and can learn Thunder is a nice addition to him as well. So basically Thunder barely ever misses. And as well, what else can you run on Gardevoir? Gardevoir? Galvantula. What else can you run on Galvantula? Most people run Sticky Webs, Bug Buzz, Thunder, and Energy Ball. I mostly run the traditional set, but I changed up Energy Ball for Volt Tackle because Switch. And I think it gets U-Turn, but U-Turn is physical, so why would you run physical move on a Galvantula? Galvantula is a special Pokemon. And then, just for the lols, I put Zap Plate on mine. The electric type Arceus plate, and I'm just rocking out with that because why the hell not? Yeah, the speed of Galvantula has helped me out many times. And the fact that it's part bug means it can take at least one ground type move pretty well without needing like Focus Sash or something. At least mine can. I don't know. Depends on what IV/EV spread you run on it, I guess, doesn't it? But yeah, I actually have a story about Galvantula. Ooh, look, it's another story. I didn't have one of those for the last entry or two. Yeah. At college, I battled people at college, and I was in a double battle with my friend against two of my other friends, one of which seems to barely ever lose and likes to win and stuff. I wonder where he gets that from. No. But he had a Hawlucha, and his partner had a Togekiss, and their strategy was to follow me with the Togekiss, and then use Bulk Up with the Hawlucha until basically the Hawlucha could just wreck everyone. So, follow me being priority activates this is turn 1, by the way. No, first turn. Follow me on the Togekiss. I go for the Hawlucha with Thunder with my Galvantula, which is out, which gets diverted over to the Togekiss, and one-shots the Togekiss, which then just completely annihilates their strategy, and then everything they do from that point onwards is just like GG, because they can't set up the Hawlucha, and the rest of their Pokemon have nothing that they can really do against my partner's Pokemon. And then I end up killing everyone. Also, you got to remember how weak Lucario's defenses are. I know that's a bit of a leap from what I was talking about. Sorry about that. I had a gunky throat. Yeah, I know that's a bit of a leap because Lucario. I'm not talking about Lucario. We're talking about Galvantula, aren't we? Well, yes, but I always forget that Lucario is so weak and frail defensively, and always try and switch out when I have Galvantula. I Volt Tackle on it, and Volt Tackle always does like over half, and it's just like, what? Why did I switch out? So yeah, just bear in mind, if you're using a Galvantula and you're up against Lucario, don't switch out, wreck it, because you can, and you're probably going to outspeed it as well most times, because Galvantula is crazy fast. So yeah, number 7, we have Galvantula. Number 6. Coming in at the number 6 spot on this list, we have Leafeon. Leafeon is the grass type evolution from Generation 4. This is probably shocking to people, mostly, because Umbreon is normally the favourite evolution. Sometimes Sylveon. I do love both Umbreon and Sylveon, and in the past have used both. But I don't know, Leafeon. I like Leafeon's design. the fact that most of the evolutions are just like one colour, which is their type colour. So like Espeon is pink, Umbreon is black mostly with the yellow bits, and then like Flareon is all red and stuff. But then Leafeon just comes along and is like some kind of weird tan colour, which is actually not bad, and then has like leaves on him, and he's just like, hang on a minute, don't they normally make the evolutions the colour of the type that they have? And then it's just like, well, Leafeon, your argument is invalid. So yeah. Leafeon. What can we say about Leafeon? I don't really have any stories about Leafeon. I used Leafeon in Soul Silver. You're probably wondering how. I traded an Eevee which I bred to my brother, and he evolved it in his Diamond. I think it was Diamond, it might have been Pearl. Pretty sure it was Diamond. And he evolved it at the Leaf Rock thing that there is in Sinnoh, because for some stupid ass reason in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, even though they'd made Pokemon that need certain ways to evolve, they didn't implement ways to actually evolve them. They could totally have just shoved like a Leaf Rock in like Ilex Forest, and then the Ice Rock in the Ice Path or something. But no. Oh well. So yeah, I traded it over to my brother. He at level 1. He rare candied it next to the grass rock thing. Traded it back over to P. And then I trained it up and trained it up and trained it up, and it's currently my 3rd highest level Pokemon on Soul Silver. My other two being Ampharos at level like 93, and then Typhlosion at level 100, because that was my starter, and I leveled it up to level 100. Yeah, Leafeon. I think I ran on it Sunny Day, Solar Beam, Giga Drain, and Leaf Blade, possibly. Which is kind of a weird set, I know, but it worked for me in Soul Silver. If I made a competitive one in Gen 6, I would never run that set at all, because why would you run a physical leaf move on it? But who knows? Shadow Ball's always a nice alternative, I guess. I always breed my Eevees from the Umbreon I have in Soul Silver, so they always start off with Shadow Ball. I do have one in a Omega Ruby. I didn't level it up myself. I got it on Wonder Trade. So yeah, that was a nice surprise on Wonder Trade. I hadn't really got anything good in Wonder Trade for ages and hadn't really used it that much, and I was just going through Wonder Trade and some random Zigzagoons and stuff that I had for some reason, and then we're just like, oh, Leafeon, and I was just like, oh, okay then. That's nice. So yeah, coming in at the number 6 spot is Leafeon. Number 5. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the final evolution of the Fire-type starter from Generation 2. If that hasn't given it away from you, then clearly you need to go play a Johto game, because Johto is the best region. Typhlosion, in case you didn't get it. Typhlosion is number 5. Typhlosion is awesome. He is cool. He has flames coming out of his neck. The back of his neck, because why the hell not? And he's Typhlosion. I mean, he has quite a good variety of moves on him that you can teach him. He was my starter for when I went through Soul Silver. I know I keep referencing my Soul Silver playthrough, but I really haven't played the most variety of Pokemon games in the world, which I know is kind of bad, but oh well. When I played through Crystal when I was a lot younger, which is still one of my favourite games of all time, by the way, I went with Totodile. So when I first got Soul Silver, I went Totodile again, because I liked Totodile so much last time. But then I stopped playing for like forever, and then restarted last summer, and was like, I always pick Totodile when I play these games, why don't I pick another one? And Cyndaquil just leapt out at me, so I chose Cyndaquil, and I trained him up, and trained him up, and trained him up, and then I had a beautiful Typhlosion, And now he's level 100. And I think he has like Blast Burn, possibly. No, I thought I got rid of Blast Burn for something else. I don't know. He used to have Blast Burn. He definitely has Eruption and Flamethrower. I think he has Rock Smash for some bizarre reason. I think I was going to get rid of Rock Smash. For the longest time, I was trying to do the Battle Tower thing in Soul Silver that they have in the Frontier to try and get Thunder Punch on him, because Thunder Punch would have been so good on him, but it just takes so long to get battle points in that game. You need to do 7 battles to get 3 battle points. Nowadays you can do 1 battle and get like 3 battle points, which is like crazy. And plus then you had to save up to get like 64 battle points for like any decent moves. And it's just like, why? What is the point? It just takes so long. But yeah, I eventually gave up and then started playing Orez more. And then I got a Typhlosion on Omega Ruby. Shoved it on one of my competitive teams. I challenged myself in making a cool team out of just picking a Pokemon from every gen. I did. My Gen 5 and Gen 6 choices ended up being really, really bad. So I had to rock out with my my first 4, which was Poliwrath, Typhlosion, Mega Manectric, and Probopass. God, I love that. That Probopass is amazing. But Typhlosion is also amazing. He gets Extra Sentry, which is always nice. Flamethrower is the obvious one. So, what's it? Solar Beam? Yeah, Solar Beam. I have Solar Beam on mine. Focus Blast. That's another one he gets. Sunny Day he can get, so you can do the Solar Beam thing quicker. I think I gave mine Sunny Day, and then I gave him Choice Scarf, and then I was like, what the hell am I doing? That's like the stupidest thing ever. When are you gonna set up Sunny Day, switch out into something else, switch back into him, wasting 2 turns of Sun, with no Heat Rock because he's choiced, and then be able to do either a 1-turn Solar Beam or a Flamethrower. That also gives your opponent, what, 3 turns to set up another weather condition? And it's just like the most stupidest thing ever. I really need to change that. But yeah, it's a shame that Extra Sentry is an egg move, because otherwise I'd give him that. So yeah, coming in at number 5 is Typhlosion. Number 4. Coming in at the number 4 spot is a Pokemon who is on here mostly for his comedic value, but partly for his typing and partly for his just epicness factor. We have Golurk, the ground ghost type. I don't know if they're the right way around. It might be ghost ground type, but he's part ghost and he's part ground. So the 2 big G's, the big G's of Pokemon typings. There's probably other G's types. Actually, I don't think there is. Grass! Yeah, there is. Lol. But no one cares about grass compared to ground. Yeah, Golurk, number 4. Why is Golurk number 4? Golurk is that one Pokemon who makes no sense. He is a ghost ground type, and he gets fly. I know before I get a comment saying that's because the anime, Golurk can fly in the anime, he's got jet boots in his legs and whatever. Yeah, I know it's because of the anime. I'm just saying it just makes no sense. He is not a flying type, and he gets fly. I'm pretty sure he's the only non-flying type to get fly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong with that one, because I'm not certain on that. But yeah, Golurk. He's like the most unsuspecting Pokemon to get fly ever. And yet he does. He also gets like the most massive variety of punch moves to work with his Iron Fist ability, which is cool. So I had a Golurk in Y. No, I didn't. I had a Golurk in Y, which I never bothered to evolve. And then I was like, oh, I need another Pokemon for my team in Uraz, because I needed a 6th Pokemon for like Elite Four. Didn't really want to use the Groudon because don't want to use a legendary, and I didn't have any other good like ground types other than Camerupt, but I think I was already using Camerupt anyway, so meh. But so as I asked my friend to trade me a Golurk, made sure he had Iron Fists, and he traded me over this Golurk, right? And then I leveled him up to like 70 something, and then went at the Elite Four. And when it came to Phoebe, I sent out my Golurk and just wrecked everything with a Shadow Punch, and it was just so good. Golurk has a lot more potential than he's given. He does lack a lot because of his speed. Yeah, that's a massive drawback of Golurk. It's probably his biggest drawback. But I guess you can Trick Room. That would be hilarious to see someone set up Trick Room doing the Elite Four just so they had a Golurk that outsped everything. That's just like the funniest thing to me. I don't know why, because it's not really that funny, but it is at the same time. Golurk, yeah, he has like one of the coolest typings in the game, with his Ghost Ground. Ground types are like my favourite types. Spoilers if I ever do a top 18 types or top 10 types. But yeah, Ground is cool. Ghost is cool. There's not many Ghost types. There's only like 36 different Ghost types, I think. So Golurk, yeah. And he gets all the elemental punches: Shadow Punch, Dynamic Punch, Drain Punch. Don't know if he gets Focus Punch. Definitely doesn't get Mach Punch. That'd be amazing. Mach Punch Golem. Oh, I think he gets Bullet Punch as well. So yeah, lots of variety for the punching moves there. Fly, Earthquake, all those good stuff. Because he's a ground type. I mean, every ground type pretty much gets Earthquake or Earth Power. So yeah, Golurk, number 4. Number 3. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have one of the original Pokemon, back to Gen 1. Haven't done that for a while, since the number 9 spot, I don't think. Oh, that'd be really embarrassing if I forgot someone on the list who is a Gen 1 Pokemon. But oh well. I haven't, so yeah. Yeah, so all the way back in Gen 1, at the very first Pokemon you could catch, well not catch, but get, I should say, you got the choice of either Charmander, who seems to be a fan favourite. Wonder why that is. Charizard. And then Bulbasaur, who was like the easy pick because he was super effective against the first 2 gyms, and by the 3rd gym you could catch like ground types right next to the city where the gym was, and it was just like, oh, well then. And then there was Squirtle. Squirtle, who evolves into my number 3 spot placement, Blastoise. Blastoise is, in my opinion, by far cooler in every way than Venusaur and Charizard combined. He is a turtle that can stand up on his back legs and has water cannons in his shell that are strong enough to basically wash your face, clean off your face, off your head, and then, yeah. Which is just like, hang on a minute, what? Is this a kid's game? He has cannons on his back strong enough to just like blast water straight through a human. But we're just gonna leave that aside. He can just kill people if he got cheesed off. Blastoise is cool. I love Blastoise. He's I was about to say he's one of my favourite Pokemon, but then I was just like, duh, this is my top 10 favourite Pokemon list. Blastoise, pure water. The only one of the Kanto starters not to get dual typing. Then again, thinking about it, what typing would he get? I mean, They couldn't give him. Yeah, I was originally thinking like Steel, possibly just then, but Steel wasn't introduced until Gen 2 anyway. And we've already got on Water Steel, who I quite like, but he's not on this list. Spoilers, no Empoleon. And then yeah, Water's that one type because there's actually a Water type, dual type with everything. Well, that's a bit of a stretch. Does Volcanion count? It's technically not announced. It's only been like there. There's nothing really said about it. But yeah, if Volcanion counts, there's a Water everything basically. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling again. Blastoise. Yeah, after he got a Mega Evolution, he became like the coolest one. I picked him in Y, because when you get to pick the Kanto starter, I picked Blastoise, and had a Blastoise through Y. Had a Blastoise in Omega Ruby. I don't remember how I got it. I might have traded it over or something. And I spent the longest time breeding a female Squirtle, getting it the moves it needed so that I could level up with egg moves and stuff. And I now have a Mega Blastoise, a team with a Mega Blastoise on it, which is my favourite team out of all my teams, just so you know. Mega Blastoise, running Water Pulse, Dark Pulse, Aura Sphere, and Aqua Jet. And it took me the longest time to breed those moves onto it. Well, not Water Pulse and stuff, obviously, because it learns that by level up. That would have been funny if I'd bred it on and then it learned by level up. But I didn't. I'm not silly. But some of the megas, I'm gonna be honest, some of the megas do look kinda stupid when they mega evolve, like Ordino, Aerodactyl. I know they're good, like power wise, and I don't really hate on them at all. And then there's some that are just like really unimaginative, because Venusaur basically just looks the same and stuff, and then Kangaskhan, he doesn't look any different. I mean, the baby thing pops out. That's about it. It's like not really different at all, other than that. But Blastoise gets an extra cannon, so he now has 3 cannons, 2 on his arms, and then the biggest cannon you have ever seen, just sticking out of his back over his head. And it's like the coolest thing. And then the one thing that like completely confuses me is Mega Blastoise using Hydro Cannon. Why does it come out of his mouth instead of the big ass cannon on his back? It's called Hydro Cannon, and yet it comes out of his mouth and not the big cannon. Come on, Game Freak, what are you doing here? What are you doing to me, Game Freak? Yeah, enough rambling about Blastoise. Blastoise is number 3 because he is cool, he's a water type, and he's Blastoise. Number 2. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the one legendary that had all the hype before Gen 3 came out, and in my opinion is better than the one who replaced it hype-wise. Gen 3, obviously the one I'm talking about in Gen 3 is Rayquaza. Everyone loved Rayquaza, Dragon type, blah blah blah. But there was one Pokemon that everyone seems to have forgotten is so much cooler. And the Pokemon I am talking about is Lugia. Lugia is the psychic flying legendary from Generation 2 that you can catch in the Whirl Islands. And he is by far cooler in every way than to Rayquaza. Rayquaza is nowhere near as cool as Lugia, and yet he has more hype. I don't understand why that is, but you know, that's not what this list is about. I'm going to tell you why I like Lugia. Soul Silver is one big reason, because I had Lugia, because, well, it's Soul Silver. You have to go catch him. The moment he comes out of the waterfall when you are down in the bottom cave of Whirl Islands is the coolest moment in the entire game of Soul Silver. there's just no moment that tops that. Beating Lance doesn't top that. Battling and beating Red doesn't top that. Yeah, nothing tops that. Lugia just coming out of the waterfall. And, I mean, people are probably going to, like, say, oh, you get the same feeling when you encounter Ho-Oh at the top of Brass Tower or Tin Tower, depending on what you're playing. And it's just like, no. Just no. And, yeah, and I was so disappointed with Omega Ruby for having been the game that was exclusive to Ho-Oh instead of Lugia. But, oh well. Lugia was just so cool. He was this big bird who I always, for the longest time, thought was like a water type because of the whole he lives in the water thing. But no, apparently not. And even in the startup menus to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you see Ho-Oh flying across the clouds like a regular bird. But Lugia, who is not even a water type, he is psychic, flying. You see him swimming through the water instead of flying. And from the way it looks, he basically looks like he could be flying through the water. And that is just the coolest thing ever that no other Pokemon can put into your mind. I mean, cool, sure, there are water flying types like Gyarados, but Gyarados doesn't even get fly, so he can't fly. There is, like, Mantine, he's a manta ray, he can't fly. Well, I don't know, does he get fly? That's not really anything to do with this. Pelipper, he's a pelican. Pelicans live above water. All of the other water types that are also part flying don't look like they were the kind of Pokemon that would kind of swim through the water in a way that looks like they are flying, that looks extremely badass. And then Lugia just comes along and just like, yeah, and then just does whatever the hell he likes because it's Lugia. Also, just a completely random side note, Aeroblast, his signature move, is like the coolest move and had the coolest animation in Gen 4. Which was like, yeah, Aeroblast, you just like wrecked everyone and was so cool. Also, he got Hydro Pump. Why do you think I thought he was a water type? He got Hydro Pump. That's like the most random move for a psychic flying type to have, but nevertheless, it's cool. Oh, and recently, my hype for watching the second Pokemon movie again with Lugia in it. Lugia was so badass in that movie. I mean, he totally ripped off like Mewtwo with the whole psychically talking thing, but he was like so much cooler. I mean, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres are all in that movie as well, but Lugia is clearly the coolest one out of the lot of them. And yeah, he doesn't even look like he has wings. He looks like he has hands at the end of his wings. Oh my god, I could talk about Lugia forever. Yeah, Lugia, everyone. There's not really much else I can say about it. I've raved about him enough, I think. So yeah, Lugia. Okay, so not all of my favorite Pokemon could make the final video, the final 10. So before we unveil our number one, my number one favorite Pokemon, I'm going to do some honorable mentions of Pokemon who I really, really like, but don't like as much as the Pokemon who actually made the list. No particular order. This is just the order I wrote them down when I was writing things to say about the Pokemon and stuff. So yeah, my list goes Stantler, Swampert, Sudowoodo, Exploud, Giratina, Ampharos, Gengar, Dragonite, Kingdra, Garchomp, Rayquaza, Umbreon, and Sylveon. So, yep, no particular order at all, as you can see there, but they're all Pokemon that I really, really like, but I didn't like enough to get onto the actual list. when I was making the cuts. Stantler was really, really close. Stantler was a very close 11, but Goodra, man. Goodra's better than Stantler in my opinion. So yeah. Number 1. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, we have Suicune. Suicune has been my favourite Pokemon for as long as I can remember. He is the trio leader, well, the main trio member of the legendary beasts. He is the water type member, and he is the coolest member. He, in addition to Raikou and Entei, who look very aggressive in their appearances, Suicune is more calming with his colours and his design. He just seems to fit as a good water type. Also, Suicune was the first legendary Pokemon I ever caught on a Pokemon game that I owned. Technically, the first ever legendary Pokemon I caught was Raikou on someone else's version of Pokemon Crystal. And that was a long time ago. It was a day where you could bring your video games into school, and I played on someone else's Game Boy, and was determined to catch Raikou for them by the end of the day, and succeeded. So yeah, but Suicune was the first legendary I ever caught myself, and in Pokemon Crystal, he was my greatest team member, to be honest. He followed me everywhere after that battle when I caught him at Tin Tower, because in Crystal you catch him in a different place to like every other game for some reason. Because he's the mascot, isn't he? So yeah, he was on my Elite Four challenging team in Crystal, and yeah, he's just one of my favourite Pokemon. I caught him in Omega Ruby, and I've used him multiple times. For some reason, his main moveset is ice-based when you catch him, which doesn't make sense, but oh well. Yeah, Suicune. I don't know what it is about him, he's just cool. I guess for nostalgic reasons, being my first ever proper legendary catch and stuff is why he's my favourite. But yeah, number 1 is Suicune. Thank you for watching my very first top 10 video. If you liked the video, please click the like button. It would be very appreciated, and I will know that you liked the video. It's nice to see support on my videos in ways other than having views, which I don't get many of anyway. But anyway, hope you have a nice day, and hope you enjoyed taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. Thank you, and goodbye.